Clive Blackwood is a spectacular Jamaican trailblazer. His journey started in the modest community of Mulgrave Lane, that's in Waterhouse, right here in Kingston, to becoming the Executive Vice President and General Auditor of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Believe that. He now oversees the largest balance sheet known to mankind. The New York Federal Reserve Bank is by far the largest in the United States Federal Reserve System, and he has held this position since 2015. It's an honor to have him here with us this morning. Good morning, Clive.
Good morning,
Welcome to Smile Jamaica. It's morning time.
Great to be here. It's a privilege for me to be here.
It's such a powerful story because yesterday Neville was talking about our young men in Jamaica and that a particular age group can't seem to find themselves. And you're from a community that many of them, that's just one of them, are still trying to find themselves. How did you end up on this journey? What made the difference for you?
Well, it takes a village. For me, what made the difference was a number of people. So it started with my parents, my mother, my father, but I had great teachers. You know, when I think of the teachers that I've had, it's just been so fortunate for me in my life. I went to Arden High School. I had some of the best teachers that you could find. Before that, Chatola Park in West Kingston. So I'd like to give a shout out to teachers. You know, they do yeoman's work and that's not appreciated.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've had many and I've had mentors wherever I've worked, whether it be in Jamaica or elsewhere in the world. So it takes a village. And, you know, we all have a role in making sure that our young men and young women are mentored and thought as well as possible.
Yeah. And so I like to say to our young people, dream big. Sometimes we limit our dreams and that's why we don't achieve what we can. Did you ever dream, listen, I'm going to go to America and I'm going to work with the Federal Bank and I'm going to be the boss?
I didn't grow up dreaming that. As it became more possible, I dreamt that this could be possible. Yeah, I could do this. But I always dreamt that I would be something more than what I was born as.
Excellent.
And it doesn't mean that I was born as nothing. I don't want people to ever think that you're born as nothing. We all have this intrinsic value that we're born with. But I always felt that I could grow and develop. I didn't know what it would be as a kid, but I always dreamt. And I always dreamt that I could do something that would, you know, be epitomize growth, and that's what I've been able to do.
Yeah, you worked in the banking system here in Jamaica. Prior to migrating. How difficult was it to transition and yet to continue along that career path? Because I know sometimes Jamaicans migrate, they have to change jobs. It's difficult to get themselves, I guess, transition to where they are. What were the challenges for you?
Any number of challenges. First of all, I didn't just migrate and get the job that I now had. So I migrated and then I had to do things like work in fast food. I made burgers in McDonald's. I worked in stores. I folded boxes for jewelry companies. You name it, I kind of did it while going to school at night. Wow. So the transition had its challenges. I don't like looking back on it. I don't like to think of them as difficulties daily. I like to think of them as challenges. And we're all going to have challenges, you know, so you have to persevere. You know, I like to teach people whenever I speak to young kids about the importance of resilience and persevering. Yeah,
it's because sometimes we just want to make that leap. And I've heard them sometimes say, I don't want to do this job. This is not what I want to be. But you're saying do what you have to until you do what you want to.
You got it. I couldn't have said it better myself. Do what you need to do in order to get to where you want to be. Yeah. You know, you need to do whatever is necessary in the right way. Okay? Do whatever you need to be. Work hard, concentrate, and be resilient. There are going to be setbacks. You will always have setbacks. So the idea is that you do what you need to do today in order to be what you want to be tomorrow.
Yeah. Clearly a very successful banking career, which would have led you to where you are today. I think the first black person?
I am. I don't like to stress that, though.
Because I want to stress that because it's not just Jamaica for me. It's a bigger picture So I think what you represent, not just for Jamaicans, but for people of color worldwide, is possibilities.
It does. So I'm not being deliberately self-deprecating here.
Yes.
The point that I was trying to make is that I'm probably the first black person for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
One is probably over 100 years ago, the United States and the Federal Reserve System wasn't as open as they are now to having someone who looks and sounds like me in the role that I'm in. So a part of why I'm in the position is the march of progress,
yes,
but also competence.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to be deliberately modest and say that competence.
This is not affirmative action. This is because you deserved it.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So it's a question of being, it's the right time with the right societal attitudes, but also competence.
Yeah.
So you need to prepare yourself, is what I'm saying, in order to avail yourself of responsibility, of opportunities as they come along.
Yeah.
And I like to think that I've prepared myself and been prepared well by all the people that have helped me throughout my journey.
Yeah. I was saying to you off air that I have a nervous breakdown trying to balance my personal balance sheet. On a scale of 1 to 10, that's how difficult is it to balance a balance sheet as big as the Federal Reserve Bank?
Well, it's a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
But it's not the most difficult things in the world. People get up every day and have to do more difficult things in their personal lives.
Okay.
It is a big responsibility. It's the largest balance sheet in the world.
Yes.
We do things like have the largest repository of gold anywhere in the world. We provide payment systems for the nation. So that's like almost $6 trillion in value every day that we transfer around the country and the world.
Wow.
So they're big responsibilities. I take that point. But, it's not as difficult as you may think to balance your checkbook. Give it a shot.
I'm going to say, okay. But it's such a big job. You're here to talk to the ardent students as a part of their distinguished lecture series. Yeah.
I am.
What's your takeaway for them?
The same things that I spoke to you about earlier. Yeah. Make sure that you work hard every day. There are no shortcuts. You have to prepare yourself. Opportunity tends to favor those who are prepared. So make sure that you're working hard every day to prepare yourself. Make sure that you're being someone who is ethical. You have good morals. And also make sure that you have courage. Sometimes we get opportunities, and because we don't have the courage, we don't seize them. So you have to be willing to seize the day. So I spoke to the kids. I actually spoke to them yesterday and had a wonderful time at Arden. And I want to give a quick shout out to Nadine Malloy, the principal, and my dear friend Dave Rodney, who arranged for me to be here.
Thank you so much, Nadine, for allowing him to be here and for sharing with us on this platform, as our young people, I think, are going through a tough time trying to navigate themselves, and to see someone like you who's been able to transition from here in Jamaica, humble beginnings, to where you are now, I think is an inspiration. Thank you, Clive.
Thank you, Daly,
for speaking with us this morning. Executive Vice President and General Auditor of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, Clive Blackwood. Still to come, we're going to be talking about hospitals and infection control. That's so important, so stay tuned.